Thursday, October 2nd, let's level up. Markets continue to rally. We have been seeing this pattern where we have down opens that move up and up opens that move down. VIX, however, is not confirming these new highs. We are still making some higher lows there. If the VIX can get up over 1724, really 1756, I think there's a run to 1928. If that then clears, the room could be up to the 21s, 22 area. But I'd be surprised to see anything significant in VIX without some type of a catalyst that we probably don't foresee. Maybe it's a bad earnings season, maybe it's some exogenous event, but as of now, markets are grinding still higher. As far as the ES and the NQ go, bulls here need to get over 67.82 quarter. If they can do that, still higher prices, probably up to 6,800 plus. On the downside, they need to hold 67.71 half. After that, it's 67.56.75. Today's pullback didn't quite tag out the 67.36 VWAP, but it did hold the 67.36 to 67.43 half key support zone. We did check back, we held the support, and we rallied back up. I do think that the bulls are doing well defending. We keep seeing these liquidation breaks, and liquidation breaks do tend to strengthen markets. Qs are a similar situation there. Bulls need to clear 25,180. They need to hold 25,126 half on pullbacks. After that, the key support is 24,975 half to 25,027 quarter, which we dipped into today and held perfectly. After that, it would be the repair of the rich close to 24,883. Remember, these rich closes don't have to repair right away. It could sometimes take days or weeks to repair. You can stack a lot of poor structure both up and down, and it can last for sometimes days or weeks or even months in some extreme cases. As far as SPY goes, we are over the 667.34 reference high. Anything below that, we could see a liquidation break, probably the 10 MA at 664.23 and rising, and then the 20 MA at 659.91 and rising. Now remember, moves to the 20 MA that hold and bounce have been buys, or moves below the 20 MA and then back up above it have been the buy the dip scenario. Now, if we keep rallying, the channel high is up around 675.95. I think this 670-ish area may stick for a little bit, but I do think that the bulls still have the wind at their back, at least for now. As far as Qs go, very similar setup here. Bulls need to hold 602.87. I've told you I think that between 600 and 610 would likely be some resistance. If we did pop up to the magenta channel high, that's 611.78, so it is stretching the range a bit, but I do think we can continue to chop around this range. Now, if we do lose the 602.87, the next key support is 599.34, so roughly close to that 600, which is the 10 MA. After that, it's the 20 MA at 592.42. I have been seeing a similar setup like we see in SPY. Moves below the 20 MA and then back up above have been the long in SPY. Similar setup here with the 10 MA in the Qs. SMH has been doing pretty well. NVIDIA hit 191 today, bit of a doji at the highs, could be a gravestone doji, but I don't really have the feeling that this is going to be the end of NVIDIA. It needs to hold 187.35 in the short term. The pullback yesterday did hold the 183.30 to 184.47 level, so it still is fine. We are bumping up against a bit of a channel high here. I've done some new projections. I think 204.87 and 217.48 could be big targets on the upside. Probably some sellers at 200 as well, just because it's a big round number. Micron also has been on fire lately. I had promised you guys some projections on that for the weekend video, but I did them for this video. 198.16 is the 2 times range, and the 2.618 is up at 240.38. For that projection, I used the low on 4.7 and used the high from 6.26. So that would be the 61.54 up to 129.85. And maybe we do get that run to 200-ish area there. Tesla, as expected, very good deliveries. They initially popped the stock, but we had this big outside reversal day. Sell the news. I had warned that this would be a likely scenario. Now, we do have earnings coming up on 10/22, so if we come down enough, there could be a bit of a relief rally, and I do see Tesla coming up with some new products here. They're going to have the standardized Model Y, and I see they got the performance model out for the last day of the tax credit. The 0 to 60 on that, by the way, is 3.3 seconds, which is better than a Porsche Carrera. Not quite as good as some of the more high-end Ferraris, but you are testing into supercar territory here with some of the performance numbers. Generally, we had a bit of an underwater close here. VWAP was 449.47, so if you get a bounce up to that 449, 450-ish area, you probably do want to trim some. Bulls will have some trouble if they can't hold 429.84, which is the 78.6 of the range. That could risk a pullback to as much as the 61.8 of the range at 383.76. The 10 MA is roughly right where we are. The next big level, obviously, on the downside would be the 20 MA at 410. So if you want to do 430, 410, 380 as a 1 by 1 by 1, I'm good with that as a hedge. And if you want to sell some upside calls, something above the 488s, probably around the 500-ish level, makes some sense to me. Netflix continues to sell off. Elon Musk is saying to boycott, but I think it's just a trading situation here. Now, we did have a look below and fail of the range, so if you want to be long, you could use 1144.71 as a stop. Anything above that, I do think, could rally back up to at least the 50 MA at 1207.35 and maybe the 1231.30, which is the key neckline that the bulls, I've told you, need to clear and hold. We have tested above it and failed, so I guess we needed to run back to the lower end of the range. I have not ruled out the retest of the 1064 half-ish level. That was the key breakout. I'd love to get that before earnings, but maybe we get it on a subpar earnings number, still to be determined. I think that we could have a Costanza situation here if Netflix is too weak into the numbers. Nike continued on with its strength today. I told you I had bailed on it around the 50 MA. We stalled just shy of the 77.37, 829 gap fill. I generally think Nike is a buy on dips now. I'd probably be looking to reload with some short puts if we got down to the 20 MA at 72.22 and rising. The Bitcoin, oof, strong, very nice. It got up to the 78.6 here at 121,474. I do like trimming there. I think bulls here need to roughly hold the 120,000 to 119,810 level. If they do, they're fine. If they don't, we could retest the 117,610 to 118,549 level, and then we'd see on the upside, obviously, we'd be targeting the all-time highs at 123,615 up to 125,200. Gold still acting strong, new all-time high today, almost to my 2.618 end range target here at 359.46. I do like liquidating into pops here. 10 MA has been key, 348.43. If that fails, we would see the 20 MA at 342.03. We are above the old channel, so the first touch of it would be the buy the dip. Depending on when we get there, it could be 335s and rising. Interest rates continue to chop around here. TLT is fine in my view as long as we hold 88.44. If it can, the risk is sideways to higher. If not, the risk is sideways to lower, probably for a retest of the 200 MA down at 87.93. I do think we could make a run to the 92s and maybe even all the way up to the 94s here if things stay hunky-dory. Meta got a big pullback the last few days. A lot of people are wondering why and speculating. I think it has to do with the idea that TikTok isn't going to be a zero anymore and that premium is coming off the table. It had a pretty big move down. I think if you're long now, you got to use the 100 MA as a stop at 720.42. Obviously, the upside target would be somewhere around the 50 MA at 752.78 and actually still rising. Generally speaking, markets are up here at highs. We do have some conflicting signals here. We aren't seeing VIX, for example, confirm those new highs, so that's always a little bit cautionary. We have the government shutdown. We don't get jobs reports. We probably won't get the jobs report on Friday, obviously, because the government's still shut down. And we are going to have a Fed decision in 26 days. It's widely expected the Fed's going to cut rates. I think we're too late into the year at this point for any type of serious pullback. If we got a 10% one, I think it would be a gift for a buy the dip opportunity. I do think we will get some type of a pullback at some point here. I don't know what the cause will be. Maybe it's something we're not seeing on the military front or some exogenous event, but I do think it will set up for a buy the dip for a year-end rally. And maybe we see a continuation of that into the January time period. Often February is weak period, so do keep that in mind. I don't know it's going to play out like this for sure. There could be some lock-in toward the end of the year if we're up too much into it, but I do think that there is a bit of a performance chase here because I think you have a lot of people, maybe politically motivated, got offsides and now have to play catch-up to justify to their clients being employed. Like and follow for more.